The world is changing. Superhero movies are a dime a dozen. The days of the Marvel blockbuster are slowly dying in a post-Infinity War world. The time of awaiting the next Marvel movie with bated breath is but a warm and glowing teenage memory. And there is perhaps one show that can bring all that joy back. This week, Lorelle and I are talking about one of Lorelle's all-time favorite shows, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's get it started, everybody. Welcome back to Effing It Up. Welcome back, feral listeners. You're in the hot seat with Lorelle and Maya, and once again, it's January, and we are barely holding on. Holding on by the skin of our teeth.
Accurate. I mean, it might not be January when this is...
Who cares? You know what we're talking about. You remember the dark days. How much cold brew did you drink today, Lorelle?
I don't know, like 64 ounces. No, I said 32 ounces. I said 32 ounces. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Approximately.
Anyway, so today we're talking about one of your all-time favorite shows in the whole world, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this, as you know, was my first time watching.
I know, you've never seen an episode
never
before.
Seen anything,
I'm
any
so
of it.
excited to hear your brand new, fresh, only have seen episode 1 impression of the show.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the whole show several times.
Yeah.
So.
And I've been sort of dangling this over Lorelle, did I like it? Did I not
Just
like it?
Tell me. Tell me. I'm going for the jugular with this pen.
I actually really liked it.
Yeah! It's fun, right?
It was very fun.
It's fun. It's stylish. It's just got so much charisma.
There's so much I can say, but let's just jump right into our notes.
Let's do it.
Let's start with talking about the plot. How well did the show engage the audience and set the tone for the series? Speaking as a first-time watcher, brand new, right out of the womb, I was
haven't even cut the cord yet.
Yep, I'm just hanging on by a thread. Yeah. I was very engaged. I was trying to multitask because obviously I pushed watching the episode until the very last minute, as I've been doing this this season, which is disappointing in me.
At least you watched the episode this time.
Don't talk to me, Lorelle. I watched half of Firefly. I had it in my lap as I was driving, and I don't stand by that decision.
It did. Oh, that is dangerous.
I only looked down once or twice to be like, what did you...
You had to keep your eye on the cliff, which you were hurtling towards.
I was like, what did he say?
What did he say? I did think that you might check out once you saw that. I think Joss Whedon's name was listed as an executive or something or other.
No, I missed it.
I was like, I thought this was a Jed Whedon thing, but Joss Whedon's name was in there for episode 1.
No, fortunately, I did not see that. I did not see that, but I didn't know
he was involved.
I'll say it right off the bat. I won't wait till other. There's no Whedonisms that I really spotted.
Yeah. Other than when Sky interrogates Mordo, maybe a little bit in there, but
maybe,
I don't know if that's Whedon or if that's just modern television.
Okay.
I think we should go back to the 1920s.
Lorelle's I'm disgusted by any kind of sexual tension in a television show.
I would prefer 0 sexual tension, 0 romantic tension. Everyone's single.
And I would prefer the opposite of all of that turned up to 50, which is why I enjoyed Bridgerton, and I will never recommend Lorelle watch that.
I'd probably poke my eyeballs out.
Probably. Just scoop them.
I scoop them out with a little, one of those...
Melon ballers?
Melon ballers?
Yeah.
I
just knew. I know you.
I thought... So, you've only seen episode 1.
I've only seen episode 1.
I've seen all 7 seasons.
So you can tell me if...
And, they seeded a lot of stuff in episode 1, I think.
I noticed some seeds.
Yeah.
I will say that.
I jotted down, there's a little bit with Agent Hill talking with the doctor and being like, he must never know.
Yes, and I was like, but what? What must we never know? How long? How long do I have to wait to find out?
So, I don't remember how long, but it is pretty awesomely horrific, so you should definitely keep watching.
Perfect.
Poor
Perfect.
Coulson. Poor Coulson.
Everything I've ever wanted.
He must never know.
He must never know.
Mike Peterson definitely, like, crops up again. So,
Okay.
spoilers, but... Wait, that is spoilers, because if you watch the episode, they try to fake you out that he dies, so... Maybe I shouldn't say he shows up again.
No. It's pretty clear that was not a bullet.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
That's not, yeah.
Sky's passed, because she, like, admits she deleted an identity before, and it's
yes.
insinuated that she's referring to herself, I think.
I did note, I know, like, I don't know really anything about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I have heard bits and pieces about Sky.
Mm-hmm. You probably, yeah, because they've talked about bringing her back into... Fans hope that she'll show up in the MCU, like...
Yeah, well...
I don't care.
I think we know.
She's cool. She's a little annoying in episode 1, if I'm being honest.
Oh my goodness. Should we wrap up plot just so we can talk about characters?
Yeah.
I was just going to say, apart from the slightly cheesy voiceover, the opening scene I thought was a real, like...
Yeah.
Really engaging, like, the whole thing about, like, oh, right, we're living in a world, like, what are you writing about me? You witch.
I'm just doodling a little, what did it say, a poop with spikes coming out.
It's a porcupine? It's clearly a turd.
I like how Coulson tries to gaslight her about what she drew. Like,
yeah.
Like, sir, she's the one who drew it. I think she knows.
Coulson is the ultimate gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
He is a girl boss. He really is. Okay, sorry, you were saying?
I was just saying, it was kind of fun, like, remembering watching Avengers for the first time and wanting to know how normal people actually reacted and what all was going on behind the scenes that we didn't see in Avengers, like the layers to it, and getting to, like, peel back the layers of the onion and be like, oh, what happens if another person with superpowers crops up? How many people are there out there with special abilities?
Mm-hmm. I really think it's like, the concept of the show is really cool, because at one point they throw out the line something about welcome to the strangest show on earth or something like that, and that's really, like, encapsulates it really well.
It's accurate.
Yeah, it's just fun. And they do everything. Throughout the 7 seasons, they really get a lot of mileage out of their core concept.
I will say my only criticism so far in terms of, like, the plot, I was like, some of this dialogue, it's just a little, like, I was like, what?
It's a little quippy, for one.
Little quippy.
If you don't like Marvel quippy dialogue.
It's very heavy on the Marvel quippy.
And
I was like, maybe...
That's why I like it, though.
Maybe I just, like, grew some distaste for the quippiness because they tried to, like sorry. Maybe I, like, lost my love of the quippiness a little bit in, like, the post-Infinity War era when they handed you sort of the heaviest emotions possible, and then they would not even really let you sit in the scene, and then they'd be like, quick.
And you would always know it's coming, so you could never really, like, honestly feel those emotions, because you'd know the movie's going to make fun of you for it in just a second.
Yeah.
But I don't think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. does that.
No,
I
I wasn't
they
feeling
balance
that.
them both really well. I would say that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes in came in right after the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
So we're talking, like, the golden age of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
And then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of embodies that, in my opinion.
Because there was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and then Captain America and the Winter Soldier, which is one of my all-time favorite Marvel movies.
The Winter Soldier. Word, yeah. It's just a solid movie. Like,
yeah.
Even extracting it from the MCU.
Yeah.
It's not just a good Marvel movie. It's a good movie, in my opinion. Definitely one of my all-time favorites.
I was kind of feeling that with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Yeah.
which is, like, a very high compliment that I can give.
I think they do a great job balancing the actual emotions. And if this gets you into the show, Maya,
It might get me into the
they
show,
get
Lorelle.
dark sometimes, and they really don't, like, undercut that. They do a really good job.
You know I love when
good.
something is dark and twisted.
So good. It's so good. I don't want to give you any spoilers, but they dive into stuff like They do, like, life model decoys so they look exactly like humans, but,
okay.
you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And they don't, they utilize it well, unlike the recent Marvel TV shows with the shape-shifting aliens. Mm-hmm. They could have taken some notes from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They really milked the drama on that.
Really,
but that's just an example.
Really, all following Marvel TV shows could have taken a page out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I say that after watching one episode.
Okay, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Agent Carter, and I guess Daredevil. Top tier Marvel
Daredevil
shows.
Is...
Yeah, that's a good show.
Everybody knows how we feel about Daredevil at this point.
It's good stuff, but it's like almost a different thing.
Yeah.
Because it's more serious. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. takes itself, like, it doesn't take itself too seriously. Yeah. It takes the emotions and the characters seriously, but it takes sort of the situations and the concepts unseriously, which I think is part of what makes it good. Like, that little scene where Coulson walks in, like, for the first time, and he's like...
The corner was really dark. I think there's a ball bat.
Yeah, he's like, I couldn't help myself. Welcome to level 6. It's so good. I just love it. Yeah. I could talk about these characters all day. I mean...
Yeah.
They're all wonderful.
I
especially love Gemma and Fitz. Fitz is probably the best character for, like, overall throughout the entire TV show. He's funny and, like, he gets some good dramatic moments as well.
Yeah.
Like, he's dorky in episode 1, but he does get more depth.
He gets more rounded.
He gets more well-rounded. Gemma, though, she's my queen. I love her so much. I would die for Gemma Simmons. Absolutely. And Melinda May is wonderful also.
Really, if you look at my notes, I just started writing, like, Coulson! Maria! And then randomly I was like, Shepard?
Oh, yeah, anyway, you're right. I didn't even think about
what
that.
What are you doing here, pal?
What are you doing here? Get out. You belong in a different spaceship.
I was like, I like you here better. I know you what.
So I rewatched the pilot episode for this, obviously for our podcast, and of course I got sucked in and I, like, watched the next episode.
You're good at your job, unlike some
Please.
other people.
And then I watched the next episode right away and I was like, I know we're not here to talk about the following subsequent episodes, but I was like, this is such, like, quintessential almost 1980s TV storytelling, because they go to Peru and there's, like, militants and guerrillas and, you know, like...
Spoilers, Lorelle.
Spoilers, but it's, like, such a 1980s type storyline. I was just watching it cackling. I was like, this is so fun, like...
Honestly, it is fun. Like, I watched the old Get Smart TV series a lot growing up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just got that, like, little bit of silliness from it that
silliness.
I missed it.
That's
Coulson's car.
Yeah.
Oh, Get Smart is way sillier.
I was thinking more like MacGyver, I think. But, yeah. You know. MacGyver is, like, always going to these foreign countries that need the help of a white man. And there's always a beautiful woman that he's either dated or will date.
I'm so glad this was not part of my TV watching. I'm so relieved, honestly.
MacGyver, the TV show.
I'm not gonna sit here.
Formed my personality.
No, I don't believe that.
No, listen. Ignoring what I just said about the white savior and the girlfriends, I didn't care about
none of that sounds like
none of it's interesting. What is interesting is he solves all of his problems with his out-of-the-box thinking. He doesn't use a gun unless he's taking it apart to use the gunpowder for something, you know? He's clever.
Yeah.
He's an engineer. But that's neither here nor there.
Really, all these early TV shows were just written by engineers going, aren't we great?
Aren't we just the best?
We are so good at this.
And we do have girlfriends in every continent.
Women do want to be with us.
Women see our Swiss Army knife and they swoon, okay?
I didn't mean to take such a cheap shot at engineers, but I'm glad I did.
It's fine. They can probably build themselves a shield or something. I don't know.
It's alright. Okay, talk about the characters, Lorelle.
Yeah, so we ran through them really quickly. I mean, we didn't talk about Ward. I also love Ward. I think it's really funny in that one scene where he, like...
Gramsci.
I laugh so hard. Brett Dalton is actually... He plays such a serious character in Ward, but he does have those moments where you're like, you're really funny, dude.
Excellent comedic timing.
He's great. I think what's really interesting about this cast, obviously they've got great chemistry for one. Like, even from the very first episode, they clearly are having fun together.
Yes.
And that's great. But it's also interesting from a writing standpoint that I think all of the characters are interesting. And you are interested in, like, the backstory of all the characters.
Yes.
Because usually in an ensemble cast like that, there's going to be one or two you don't really care about.
Yeah.
And I guess in episode 1, if anyone took that role, would probably be Skye, but she gets a lot more interesting as the show progresses.
Yeah.
But even, like, the character of Coulson, because usually that, like, the leader, you know, the guy who's in charge, he's usually the boring character. Like, no one's favorite member of the A-team is, what's his face?
Hannibal.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But Coulson is great.
Yeah. He's entertaining, like, and also, like, it's like a moral compass in, like, some ways, which I wasn't...
Which
I wasn't expecting, but I really loved the moment with him where he was telling Ward, like, because they were like, we have to kill him, and he's like...
Yeah.
No.
Find another way. Although one might argue that wasn't very fair of him to say, it's on you, on Gemma and Fitz.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's their fault if you kill this guy? One might argue.
One can argue. But
I do love that I
enjoyed the seriousness of and respect for life that at least was portrayed in the first episode that you don't get in some superhero shows because it's just willy-nilly violence and like...
And it doesn't matter because they're the good guys.
They're the good guys and the bad guys and yeah. But I liked the layer to that.
Yeah. I would say that as the show kind of goes back and forth on that a little bit, sometimes they're like, save the lives, and then sometimes they're like, oh, there are people flying out of the airplane to a 30,000 foot drop in episode 2 and big deal.
I was more like imagining like someone putting a pillow over shh. You're so loud.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Who's getting strangled?
I don't know. I just like had this image. It's like sometimes they're like save the lives and other times they're like
they
pillow over the face.
Yeah. Anyway, I could talk all day about my favorites, specifically Fitz, Gemma, and May, but I won't.
Can we talk about how annoying Skye was instead?
Yeah, tell me, what are your thoughts on Skye?
I was like, I know from what I've heard about this show that she becomes an interesting character.
She does, yeah.
It's like, right now, I want to shake her.
But
shake her till the teeth rattle.
But in a way, that is her character. She's meant to be the naive kid coming into this.
Yeah.
Who doesn't understand how the world
works. But she's such a snot about it.
Yeah, she is.
Like, that's the thing. It's not even like, oh, there's an innocence about her. Like, she's just kind of a brat.
Yeah, you're right.
She's like, I've hacked into your mainframe, like, so, and I'm like, shut up.
Oh, that's funny. I'm like trying to resist this need to defend Skye and the show.
I'm not saying anything about the show. I'm just saying how Skye comes across in the first episode.
Come across that way, and honestly, not just the first episode.
It's like
it takes a little while for her to sort of come into her own.
It's kind of like when someone that you work with texts you something like, obviously you should do this, and as the person on the other side, basically as the person in management, i.e. Coulson, you're just like, you don't have any clue what's going on.
When Maya and I worked together, I started every text to her, obviously you should do this.
Yeah, and I said...
So that's what she's talking about right now.
Oh, that's just my timer. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to feed Lorelle.
What's that called when you have it in your chest and it makes your heart beat? Pacemaker.
Oh, jeez.
That was Maya's pacemaker. Needs to be rebooted.
Just because Lorelle's so close, my heart just starts speeding up.
Makes sense.
From anxiety.
Brought it back very nicely done.
Not enough pills in the world to help with the anxiety that you caused me.
I was gonna say it was something to do with Ward, but yeah, fair enough.
Let's talk atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
What were things, Lorelle,
Tell me about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and how much you love the atmosphere.
You know, I do. I wrote a lot of notes. I told Maya when I wrote the first half of
wow,
the
that's so many notes.
These are the notes that I wrote when I watched the first 15 minutes of the show, and I was like really hyper and energetic. And then these are the notes I wrote today when I finished the episode. So they're a little more sparse. But I got about 15 minutes into the episode, and then I just had to pause it and go on this little rant about why I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so much. So I don't know if that should go into the other slot or the atmosphere slot, but I think it fits into atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Do you want to hear my dissertation on
I would love to hear your dissertation, because it means then that you're doing the work and I'm not talking. So please.
Alright, so I was about 15 minutes into the episode, and I paused it. And then I said, why is it so good? And this is my little essay. I will say to read this essay. So I first of all, I wrote an ensemble cast that has warm, genuine chemistry, which I think is a big part of the
charm.
The recipe. Yeah, the charm for why it's so good. I might repeat myself a little bit from stuff I said previously, because I don't remember what I said before our cookie break.
I don't remember what you said either.
I don't remember who I am. I also wrote, like, the found family trope. It brings a lot of heart into the story. Like, you can already tell they're working towards that, even though in episode 1 and in episode 2, which I also rewatched, they're still learning to gel as a team. Like, they don't all like each other, they don't all get along, they don't all understand each other. But I mean, you know, that's part of the fun. But
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, I will. I think in episode 1 at one point someone says something about them not exactly a team, like they're not exactly a team yet. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a fun idea to explore, which they do a bit in the first half of season 1, I think. And then, like, by the end of season 1, they're definitely a team. So anyway, like, that found family trope, really love that. I think one of the biggest things that made the show what it is that they just have fun with it, which I know I did talk about earlier.
But if the audience knows anything, they know that you and I love when shows have fun with themselves.
Have fun with it, yeah. They don't take it too seriously. A show that takes itself too seriously is not a show for me.
No.
No,
it is not.
I wrote here, arguably, this is what made the MCU a hit in the first place. And I will add now that it's arguably what they've kind of forgotten.
If anybody's listening, Disney.
They either go one way or the other. They go way too grim and serious and, like, take us seriously just because we're a Marvel show. Yeah. Just because we're a superhero show doesn't mean that we aren't serious. Mm-hmm. You know, we're big boys. Or they go the other direction where nothing is serious. Yeah. And nothing matters. No one wants to watch something where nothing matters. Mm-hmm. There's no reason for us to engage with it then. Yeah. There are no stakes, anyway.
Once again, Disney, are you listening? Watch a dart come out of nowhere and hit me in the side of the neck, and you hear, ha-ha! That's what you get for disrespecting the house of mouse!
Dang, Mickey Mouse is... They're making a Mickey Mouse horror movie, aren't they?
Yeah.
Scary.
It's because...
Steamboat Willie, I guess.
Steamboat Willie is public domain. It's the same way with, like, when Winnie the Pooh became public domain.
I gotta be honest,
the Winnie the Pooh horror.
I don't give a flying fart, so I'm sorry I brought it up. I don't care about Mickey. I don't care about Winnie.
Another dart comes out of nowhere. I said it once, so I said it again! And no one messes with the mouse, bitch!
Fair. You know what? I would welcome a dart to that.
If it means...
Maybe I'd finally get a full night's sleep.
If it means that we could be unconscious.
Maybe I'd finally get a solid 8 hours.
But then, Lorelle, how would you bake me cookies at 10 at night?
Yeah. I've also baked them at midnight, but that was the previous batch, so... There's something about baking in the middle of the night that I don't know. It seems like the right time.
Imagine you're baking in the middle of the night, and you look up and you see a face in the window, and then you go, Maya? And I go, please.
I open the front door, and you, like, come in, your feet are dragging behind you, and you're being, like, lifted by air, smelling, you know, the like, in cartoons.
I was like, something smells good, Lorelle.
I would love that. You should definitely join me during my midnight baking escapades when I'm just like half asleep, but I am being motivated by the craving
Yeah.
for chocolate chip cookies.
Sometime if you do that again, just text me when you wake up, and then if I wake up from your text, I'll just come over.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to my notes. Now that we've got that on the books,
Yes. Back to your notes.
I'm only halfway through my notes, Maya. So
We're recording a podcast?
I hope you're ready.
I'm ready.
So anyway, so I was talking about having fun with it. I think it's evident in both the writing, like in scenes where we talked about before, where Phil stands in a dark corner and they're like, "Oh well," Ward says, I know that Agent Coulson is dead because I'm level 6. So I know Agent Coulson was killed in the Battle of New York.
Welcome to level 7.
It's such a good line, honestly.
Yeah.
But they don't even really undercut the drama of that line. They just kind of like laugh at it a little bit. I don't know how to explain it, but they do it well. They balance that whole...
He just goes, sorry, the corner was so dark, I couldn't help myself. I'm like, you're a little cheese ball.
You are a little cheese ball.
Cheese ball Coulson.
So it's like, it's in the writing, it's in the acting, the performances. It's even in ways that they edit the episodes themselves. For example, Maya, I love this is cool. Like, there's the scene where Agent Ward slides the Chitauri weapon to Hill across the table.
Yeah.
And as he does that, the, like, text unspools across the screen, like, in tandem with the weapon sliding across the table, like, when they're, like, SHIELD headquarters, or whatever it is that it says. I forget. But it, like, matches up. Like, that's cool.
Yes. That's a level of detail and, like, artistry.
Yes. I don't want to give you spoilers, but they do kind of... I don't know if I can say that without spoiling some really good stuff that happens.
Don't spoil it.
I don't want to spoil it. But they have fun. They also have fun with other, like, editing choices. Like, for example, later on in one of the seasons, they have, like, some alien stuff, so they, like, changed the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo to look kind of alien-y. And,
nice.
yeah, it's just just stuff like that. They really just have fun with all of it. And I think it's clear that everyone on the team was passionate about the project and was having a good time.
So beautiful.
It's just
that's all we ask for. We just ask that you have a good time when you're making a project, because we'll be able to tell. Yeah,
exactly. None of that, like, you're making your stars have mental breakdowns in between shots, like...
Kubrick.
Yeah, I do not like Stanley Kubrick.
Dead to me. Dead to me. Shit in his mailbox. Shit in his mailbox.
But then again, it's not really my genre either.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, notes.
Yeah, he's another one of those people who's like, I direct serious films.
And I'm like, hey, you're seriously an asshole.
Alright. Blah, 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 blah. I'm looking at my notes. I'm really just repeating myself a bunch of times.
My brain goes, oh, can't hear my thoughts.
Oh, I think they also have fun with, like, the audience's expectations for the genre that they're telling.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fun, too. But there's also genuine heart and emotion and drama, which I did say before. And finally, just to repeat myself, the cast is just so charismatic. They have so much chemistry.
Yep.
They bring so much heart to their characters as well, like stuff that goes beyond the writing. So, yeah, I don't know. I could talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for 5 hours. I could talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for longer than 5 hours. But I'll stop myself.
I don't want to do that.
I'll stop myself. That's the majority of my notes regarding the atmosphere. I think it's humorous, it's stylish, it's sleek, it's warm, it's funny. It's humorous and funny, I said both. I'm tired.
And
Maya, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are ditto.
Yeah.
Moving on to other.
I'm gonna drown myself in this black tea you made for me.
Moving on to other elements.
I only have one comment for other, and it's actually something you said earlier when I showed up, which I thought was really funny. So I want to hear what your thoughts are on other.
Oh, absolutely. Kind of just some notes that I wrote down. I wrote fight scenes. The choreography, just in Like, the hand-to-hand combat is so good and so crisp. It's another reason why I love Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Daredevil, but you're right.
But also Daredevil.
Oh my gosh, that scene with the knife flips, so sleek.
Mm-hmm. It just makes me want to do cool
the
things.
Scene in the elevator, the whole car chase scene.
Yeah.
All right, we're not here to talk about.
Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
But that movie is just a good time.
Maybe
I need to watch it again.
Movie night?
Yeah, let's have a movie night.
A movie night, not about the podcast.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sorry, guys, you're not invited.
Next season we'll have a Marvel season where we only watch Marvel.
I'll be like, I'm so sick of Marvel.
You would be so angry.
Be like, you quip at me one more time. One more time, Chris Pratt.
I don't hate Chris. I almost called him Chris Pratt because that's the meme. Oh, I'm ashamed.
Oh, I also don't. I have no problems with Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Too quippy. But Guardians of the Galaxy are my favorite movies. So
yeah, Lorelle.
Is it what? What?
Circling back to the.
Okay. Were we doing a podcast?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm in pain.
I also wrote immaculate choreography. I wrote in all capital letters twice on this sheet, Maria Hill! Because, I love the actor, Kobe Smulders. I saw her in How I Met Your Mother, after I think watching The Avengers for the first time, but she's just an extremely talented actor. And she just, has this excellent, austere but also really comedic presence because she has incredible comedic timing. Yes. And I love that I get to see more of her. I love her so much.
Ever since her introduction, she has hardly been on screen ever.
Yeah. And she's one of the best characters.
Yeah. You just have to love her. Every single time she's on screen, you want more from her.
Yes.
She just oozes charisma.
Because Kobe is an incredible actor. Let her be in more things. Coulson referring to Loki as Asgardian Mussolini.
Did he say that? I must have missed that.
Took me out.
I did not catch that.
I laughed out loud. I also laughed out loud when they put a bag over Sky's head.
No, I was like, so I was not ready for that. I knew it was coming because I've seen this before, but I still was not ready for it the way that they do it.
Cackled out loud because she is all serious. She's doing her little podcast, and she's like, the world, you will never find me. You will never break us down. And then the door whips open, and they're like, hey, and she's like, hi. And then they just
funny though,
they literally bag her.
She's funny though because she's taken aback and you can tell she's a bit scared and everything, but she still keeps her cool, and I think that's a really good sort of foreshadowing that she'll eventually join the team and become one of them. Even if she was mostly annoying in episode 1, she has her moments where she really shines. I just thought that was one of them.
I will tell you, there's no way I would have. Once again, as a manager, and comparing Coulson to a manager, there's no way I would have ever hired her.
Oh man, there's an episode later on, I think I don't remember which season actually, so take my nerd card from me or whatever, but one of the characters accuses here you go, you can have
you can write your right name on
one of the characters basically accuses Coulson of just needing to collect the cast-off characters, and if you look at episode 1, that's literally what he's doing. He's collecting all these people who don't want to be with him.
Don't want to be collected.
He's like, I will save you, Sky. I will save you, Word. I will
you're
save
all
you,
my
May.
children now.
Yeah, I will give you guys a better life. That is kind of his whole thing. It's cute.
It's really the lady who adopts all the cats that show up to her house.
That's Coulson.
That's Coulson.
He adopts all these cats, and he's like, you guys stay off the furniture because it's vintage.
And they're like, we're going to pee on it.
Literally. Oh, man. I really think we should Netflix party the rest of the series, because I'm holding back so many comments right now because I don't want to spoil stuff.
I appreciate you.
It's really good.
Anyway, I think that wraps up, like, what I had to say.
All right,
And also, it's definitely getting close to bedtime, so.
I'm going to drink more of this black tea very slowly. Forcing Maya to stay up past her bedtime. The only note I had in other is that S.H.I.E.L.D. are not really the good guys. Which is really funny because you literally made that exact remark when we were standing over there as you were finishing up the episode. I was like, no, they're not. And I think the show does acknowledge that. I mean, that team is still always the good guys, you know.
But the nuance, like...
There is, like, this... And the fact that they bagged Sky to begin with is not a good guy move. Like,
I know, but
you guys are the guys in black suits.
It's so funny.
Like, you guys are exactly what she's accusing you of.
Yeah, and then she was like, oh, but I want to join you. I just want a family.
I mean, it's true, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's true to her character, because she just does want a place to belong, and she wants a purpose, and she wants a family.
Yep.
And she finds that in S.H.I.E.L.D. And they explore that, too. Like,
yeah, really, it's about this poor independent podcaster
like Maya.
just getting bought out
Yeah,
by it.
she does! See, episode 2 kind of talks about that a little more, so we should watch episode 2.
Oh, right,
But
we'll
it's
watch episode.
all of these things that they establish, these character traits, they do explore them, too,
Yeah.
which I think is really interesting. Yeah.
I am excited to watch more. It's one of the few times I've said this on the podcast.
This isn't the same reaction to my love of Space Chips.
I was literally just going to say, I would never say to you, I want to watch Space Chips again, and or I want to watch the sequel to Space Chips ever.
To be fair, I also don't want to watch the sequel to Space Chips.
Oh, yeah, it was just a cold, colorless cutout of the original masterpiece.
Nothing could live up to that first film.
You know what? I want to end on the night on a good note, because,
So, Maya, pass, fail.
pass.
It's easily
Flying colors.
flying, hearty, solid, outspoken, pass. Like that?
Mic drop.
Mic drop.
No.
You, like, transformed into, like a powerful, like, a witch before my eyes. You were about, like... You're about to Emperor Palpatine me, like, I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I won't abuse your microphone like that again.
That's fine, I'll get over it eventually. Anyway.
What you doing to your mic over there, Maya?
Anyway, thank you guys for joining us once again on this week's episode of Effing It Up. Lorelle and I have had a wonderful time eating food, talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And once again, we're just grateful for any of you who are still listening to this bullshit.
I almost spit tea all over your rug. Love you guys.
And as Lorelle has said in not so many words, but as always, keep it feral.
Keep it feral.